Hello Darklings, I'm back with another director spotlight. It's been a long time since I've done one, and this one is partially inspired by the fact that, one, I've seen all of his films, although there aren't that many, and I love his music and I love his films, but also because apparently I've been asked at least 20 times in less than a week if I like this or that film of his, which is weird. It's like it came out of nowhere where all of a sudden I think it's the same person who keeps asking me. I don't know, I don't care. The point is, I love Rob Zombie a lot, and I love all of his films. They are very dark, brutal, unforgiving, and violent, which is interesting considering he really likes classic Universal films. He's a big fan of like Dracula, Wolfman, all those very classic 30s and 40s black and white pictures. He is a gigantic fan of the Munsters, which I think is precious. And he designs a lot of, he's an artist as well as being a musician and a director, and he does a lot of the designs for his album artwork. He does cartoons. He's a super talented guy. I think he's a major nerd. I think it's very charming. He's been married to his wife since 1998, and she goes on tour with him and is in all of his films, Sherry Moon Zombie. So his first film, which is also one of my favorites, is House of a Thousand Corpses. And I've had a lot of people that have also asked if I prefer House of a Thousand Corpses over its sequel. And oddly enough, I like House of a Thousand Corpses better because there's something that's funnier and more amateurish about the way that it's filmed. And it's definitely an indie film. It's kind of this family effort feel. It uses a lot of like classic horror actors like Sid Haig and Bill Moseley and Karen Black that all have these really crazy, quirky character roles, and has a cast that works together, and the visuals are really intense and weird. And it's also just gross, and I just love it so much. I kind of freaked out a lot when I actually met Bill Moseley. Like, a lot, because I love him in this movie, and I love him in the sequel to the film that this is heavily based off of, which is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love it so much. So the sequel is The Devil's Rejects, which I'd say structurally and quality-wise, it's a better film. There's some things in it that are less fun for me. I still think it's an awesome film. It was the first film of his I saw, and it was kind of strange because when I saw it, I didn't really know that he was a director, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was just kind of confused because I'm like, these characters have been introduced before, and I don't know how or when, because I didn't know about the first movie when I saw it as a wee 15-year-old. So, I love Devil's Rejects. And I've also gotten asked a lot about my opinions on Halloween and its sequel. And it's kind of strange because on the one hand, I do like the original films, and it's one of the few franchises where I have seen all of the films. And I do like his vision in its own way. Like, I like the way that he approached it, and I like what he did, even if it isn't the original concept that John Carpenter started with, and then other directors kind of slightly bastardized. But I don't know, I like his vision, I like his idea, even if it wasn't necessary or perfect. I do like what he did with it. His most recent film that came out, and I was like semi-internet stalking the progress of this film for almost 2 years, is The Lords of Salem. I read the novelization, which was based off of his original script that ended up not being realized because it was a little too dark and violent and fucked up and gory. It was pretty scary. I appreciated it. The visual aesthetics and the fact that they filmed in Salem and John 5 was working on the music is all just perfect, excellent. I love it. I appreciate that the ending, like, it's so hopeless. It's kind of fucked up, but it works. And he has a new film coming out soon-ish called 31 that's basically killer clowns kidnap people. I'm really excited for that to come out. I just want it to come out now. This one's very short because he's only directed a few films. I mean, he's directed all of his music videos, and he's done all of his album artwork for various stuff, especially when he was still in White Zombie, named after the Bela Lugosi film. I appreciate that he puts the Munsters into all of his films in one reference or another. I appreciate that he's referenced it like in his music, like Dracula, one of his most well-known songs is a Munsters reference, and I think it's hilarious and fantastic. I appreciate that he and his wife seem consistently very happy together for years, and that they're very cute together and very nerdy. and that he decorates his house like the Addams Family TV show. Like, that's just very precious. I appreciate it. Anyway, it was a very short one, but I hope you enjoy. Till next time, Darklings.